In this section, we are going to talk about Vrrp protocol. The Virtual Router Redundancy Protocol is a computer networking protocol that provides for automatic assignment of available IP routers to participating hosts. This increases the availability and reliability of routing paths via automatic default gateway selection on an IP subnetwork. The protocol achieves this by creation of virtual routers, which are an abstract representation of multiple routers, for example, master and backup routers acting as a group. The default gateway of a participating host is assigned to virtual router instead of a physical router. As you can understand from the concept, Vrrp is almost the same thing with HSRP, but that's an industry standard. You can use HSRP on Cisco devices only, but you can use Vrrp on any vendor device. We have just a few changes in terminology too. In HSRP, these guys are standby and active routers, and in here, the active router is known as master, the backup router is known as, the standby router is known as the backup router. Here are the differences between HSRP and Vrrp. As I told, HSRP is a Cisco standard while this is an IEEE standard. HSRP uses UDP encapsulation while Vrrp is using IP encapsulation. This guy is using UDP and Vrrp is using TCP and blah blah blah. We have a few changes more in the protocols. Here's the configuration of the Vrrp. As you can remember from the HSRP config, if you check it, it's almost the same thing. For example, we have just two routers in our topology in here, and we have fast Ethernet 00 interfaces. We need to configure the Vrrp between each device. To configure it, we get under the interface mode and we just type Vrrp and Vrrp group number, IP and the IP address. And Vrrp group and preempt for preemption configuration. And Vrrp group, priority and priority number. As you'll remember from our HSRP session, you know what these commands are doing, but the configuration was just standby instead of Vrrp. And we are using Vrrp in here instead of standby. And that's the only change in the configuration. Vrrp supports MD5 authentication. To provide MD5 authentication, we go under the interface mode and here is the command Vrrp group number authentication MD5 key string and the key string that we are defining. And Vrrp tracking is almost the same thing in HSRP. The commands are changing to Vrrp instead of standby, so I'm not diving into this one.